Hello internet, hello, welcome to this video. Today we're gonna be talking about jungling and everything you need to know about the jungle in Dota 2. And yeah, this will cover some very basic things. However, I think I managed to dig up some nice stuff for even the more experienced players amongst you, so maybe stick around. Now we're gonna start with something very basic, the spawn times. So neutral creeps spawn for the first time 30 seconds into the game, and from this point on they will spawn every full minute. They will not, however, just keep on spawning in their camps. There's a restriction to that. Each camp has got a spawn box. As long as there's anything inside of that spawn box, the camp will not spawn. This allows for something that is very much commonly used and known as creep stacking. You aggro your creep camp and they are now going to follow you. You make them follow you outside of the spawn box, and now you will have a second creep camp spawn. You of course need to time this pretty well. You need to have the creeps outside of the spawn box at the full minute mark, and the best way to do that is to pull at 53 to 55 seconds, depending on the size of the stacked camp. If you're already stacked a few times, you're gonna have some problems stacking, and eventually you will get to a point where it's almost impossible, if not just straight up impossible. There's however a fun trick you can use with Invoker. Units that are lifted up into the air by Tornado don't actually count as units inside of the camp, so Invoker can actually keep on stacking indefinitely. I don't know, I just think that's kind of funny. Another strategy that is commonly used, and we see it almost every game, is called pulling. Pulling consists of, well, pulling the neutral creeps from their camp into the lane, so the lane creeps start attacking the neutral creeps and follow them into their jungle. This can be used for two main purposes. First of all, if you don't stack the neutral camp, the creep wave will kill the neutral camp, and this allows you to farm the jungle, even with a hero that doesn't have any native jungling abilities. There however is a slight problem with that. If you do this, the neutrals will die to the lane creeps, and then the lane creeps will go back into their lane, resulting in a stronger and bigger creep wave than you usually would have. This always results in a push. So if you don't want to push, you don't want to do this. But if you stacked, the neutral creeps will win against the lane creeps. This is useful for denying the enemy team a whole creep wave of experience and gold, and also pulling the lane back to your tower. Now something you can also do, which is kind of difficult, I myself had big problems pulling this off for the video, let's be honest, but I'm also awful at this game. You can use the creep wave you pulled to the neutrals to kill that neutral camp, and then pull the neutrals to the next neutral camp and use them as kind of summoned units to jungle with. This is a kind of effective strategy, but it's also difficult to pull off. Okay, so much for the very basic stuff. Really sorry for that. We're now gonna move on to something that might be a little bit more interesting to most of you. Now I already showed these spawn boxes a little bit early on, but I want to go into detail about a few of those. First of all, the number one. You might notice that this one is really huge. It's very difficult to actually stack that camp, and if you want to be able to do that, it's advisable to pull it to the right as opposed to anywhere else. Next up is the number 9, which that again is a very huge camp. It's advisable to pull it to the left, which again, you will have a better chance of actually stacking that camp. There's also another thing that's interesting about the number 9. The number 9 is so big, it actually overlaps with number 8. If you place a ward at that overlapping point, you will actually block both camps with just one ward of sight, which that's something to keep in mind. That's actually very useful indeed. Another strategy that I think is very useful to know about is called choke point jungling. It's pretty simple. You just eat yourself into the trees so that only one creep can attack you at the same time. This does not always work, and it's not a very consistent strategy, let's be completely honest. However, there are a few spots where it is kind of consistent and it's actually very much useful. In the background you can currently see a clip of me as a level 2 Nakes taking out a triple stack of mid-level creeps, which honestly you wouldn't be able to do this unless you choke point jungle. And I still think it's kind of useful to at least know about it, right? I also just want to talk a little bit about the gold and experience values of these equip camps. So you can see it on the screen right now. You're gonna have a nice little chart. I myself will only talk about the ones I think are noteworthy. So for the easy camp, I think it is definitely noteworthy that the little assassin camp with the poison attack, they always give you the most money, which that's very much surprising, or at least most of the time, right? Then you've got the medium camp. Now, something I thought was interesting about the medium camp is that if you've got a hand of Midas, you want to use that, if you're going for the experience, you want to use that on either the big centaur or a golem, and because a golem gives you the same level of experience as one of those big centaurs, which that surprised me quite a bit. If you're talking about Hand of Midas, you also have to mention that in a large camp, you actually want to use it on either the big troll or you want to use it on a big satyr, because both of those give you the most experience you can actually get in the jungle. If, however, you're going for gold, you want to go for the Hellbear camp or the satyr camp. Now, I know that in the end these spawns are still random, but I guess it's something you want to keep in mind. Maybe. I also got some average numbers for you. So an average small camp is 81 gold and 133 experience. An average medium camp is 102 gold and 202 experience. And an average large camp is 124 gold and 220 experience. An ancient camp is about 264 gold and 355 experience. No, this doesn't have any relevance to anything I said during this video ever, but I just think this is kind of funny. So Roshan got a bounty that varies between 105 and 600 gold. So yeah, he is kind of a gamble, isn't he? Now, to finish off this video, I just want to give you a list of some heroes that can jungle starting at level 1. Now, you have to keep in mind that actually every hero in the game is capable of jungling at level 1. But it's always the question, just how effective are they? And I'm gonna give you the ones that I think are the most effective. If I miss out on anyone, please leave an angry comment about it. But I'm just gonna try to do my best here, okay? So first of all, we have got Lycan, of course. You can use the wolves to jungle, which indeed is very, very nice. Then Nakes, he's got that lifesteal, that inbuilt lifesteal. Then we've got Lone Druid, of course. He's got that bear that can tank for him. And also Ursa. It's a little bit more difficult with Ursa, but it's still definitely possible. Then of course we've got Jen and Enchantress, and both are based on those creep domination abilities, which are very, very useful indeed. Two more heroes are Darkseer and Batrider, though they aren't primary junglers. They are more like, I can if I have to, but I rather not. Another one is of course the Furion. He's also very commonly played in the jungle. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Might have been a little bit of redundant information, I admit, but oh well, you have to get it out of the way, don't we? So if you've got any suggestion on what you want me to create a video about, what do you want to know about, just leave it down in the comments. I will read all of them and I just might create a video about your suggestion. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to leave a rating on the video. I would definitely appreciate that. And well, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. I upload daily Dota 2 content, 2 videos every day, and I like to believe that it's not half bad. And well, yeah, I guess that's it. Hope you enjoyed this video and see you tomorrow.